regarding Latinas Manitoba, Fernanda Vallejo, which is the founder of this organization, thought that we should get online and jump on board and start talking to each other, see and checking in.
You're right. The people that really wants to have changes, to do changes in their life, not just in their life, but also to others. Think about it, because that's the reason that you are here, right?
You think Manitoba has offered, like Manitoba offers compared to other provinces in terms of like immigration status and mainly for students? What do you think?
Well, so at this point, I think there's a great advantage if you compare to the others based on the need of people. There's a lot of flexibility through the federal government, because you have to remember that the provincial nominee program, which is the province program for immigration, it's only allowed by the federal government. The number of permanent residencies is not based on what Manitoba needs, but what the government allows Manitobans to have. So immigration is always a federal thing. It's not a province thing. So no matter how much a province wants to get more seats or more spots for permanent residencies, many times they can't, because the government said, no, this is too much for this province. Let's get focused on a different province. And that's where Manitoba is. So there's a great advantage to being in Manitoba right now, especially if you are studying in Manitoba or you finish your studies in Manitoba.
So the question was about the post-graduation work permit, and it's how basically if you can leave Canada or not while you're waiting for your post-approval of the post-graduation work permit, because I feel like there's a lot of information online and we don't know.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is a very common question, and there was a change specifically for PGWP, okay? Or if you apply for PGWP right now with the changes, because the government knows that's taking forever, or PGWP, yes, you can come back, and you still have the opportunity to work when you return. It's a change, recent change, okay? Before you couldn't. For any other type of work permit, for example, if I'm doing through the LMIA or something else, this is not okay. You cannot come back and work. If you come back, you have to go through approval from the officer, and you might have to re-enter as a visitor, getting a visitor record until you get the work permit. For PGWP, yes, now you can, with the recent change, you can go out while you wait for your work permit.
I guess this is when you have a valid visa.
You have to have you can be in what we call implied status, or so you applied before the expiration date of your permit, but previous permit, but you haven't received a new one. It's taking 260, 270 days to get a work permit within Canada. That's why they changed the rules, okay? So for PGWP, now you can go out and come back as long as you have proof that you applied, and you applied before the expiration date of your previous permit. It's okay now, but before you couldn't do that. So it's something new, but they changed it, yes. But only for PGWP, not for other type of work permit, okay?
Okay, amazing. I have also another question that's kind of related, and it's when you're, graduation are coming and like classes are ending, and for example, I'm gonna graduate, so should I stop working in my part-time job like as soon as my classes end, or as soon as I get the notification that I already completed my courses?
That's also a good question. This is when you get a notification. This is the time when your course ends. It's not the last day of your test or your class, but when you get a notification, it could be an email from the school, could be a letter, could be the transcript, anything that confirms that you finish your school that day, your school is over. You have to stop immediately to working at that point. But before that, you can continue to work.
Okay, thank you. Is there any other? Yeah.
I have another question about the postgraduate permit. So once you apply, you can start working again, right? Like even if it's the same day that you apply, go back to work, right?
Yeah, Armando, she was asking as soon as you apply, if you've applied, you can start working again. Is that true?
That's correct. As soon as you apply, you can start to work full time again. Yes.
Okay. We have another question.
So in the process of permanent residency, changing provinces while you are waiting for a decision. That's something that slows the process, or should it?
So the question was, when you're in the process for the permanent residency, changing provinces, is that something that may affect the decision, or it might not?
Depends. If it is a provincial application, most likely yes, because you have to be residing in the province that you apply for the permanent residency through the PNP, right? But if you're doing like a express entry through the Canadian Experience Class or Federal Skilled Worker, which is a federal program, no, you can move to whatever you want, except Quebec. Quebec you can't. But other than Quebec, you could use, you could move if you apply through the federal programs. Provincial program, no, if you change it, because they are based on you're willing to reside in that province, so you cannot leave. You can even show that you're planning to move. If you say something, or if there's if an officer asks you where do you plan to leave, you have to say I plan to leave in Manitoba. Otherwise, they might reject your application. They will reject your application.
Okay. Is there any other question?
Any other question? If we can not answer today the questions, we can answer after. You have the QR in here. You can just send that question as well anytime.
Yeah. Oh, that's one more question. Yeah.
So, parents apply to like, or like,
the PR?
Yeah.
So she's asking if for the PR applies for only Manitoba or Canada as a whole. I mean, like, I guess when you get the PR, right? Like as soon as you get the PR.
The thing is, the way it works is the PR is always given by the federal government. There's no province that can give you the PR. Okay, Quebec has an exception. There's an exception that you get the pre-PR. Let's say it's a PR for the province. Quebec is everything different, right? So let's not consider Quebec because it's a country inside a country. But for all the other provinces, you get a nomination from the province only. So let's say Manitoba wants an applicant to stay in Manitoba. So the province will provide the applicant with a nomination saying, it's pretty much saying, hey, federal government, I want this person to stay here. So the next step will be getting this paperwork from the province and apply to the federal government because they are the only one that will provide the PR. So once you get the PR, then you can move to anywhere in Canada. You have the same rights and you have to follow the same rules that a Canadian citizen, except you don't have a passport. You have to be in Canada during this time to renew your PR. So you have to be 2 years in the last 5 years to be able to renew your PR. All right. And also you cannot work in certain safety positions. For example, in the Canadian Army, you cannot work Canadian forces. You cannot work in some security RCMP, for example, as a permanent resident. The rest is the same because you are under the Charts of Rights and Freedom of Canada. So once you're PR, you have the same rights and needs that a Canadian has. So then you can travel and move and go out and come in anytime you want.
Okay. Perfect. Any more questions?
Any other question?
Yep.
Yeah.
There are a couple of industries that they're considered at tier 1.
Yeah.
1.
Tier 0 to 4.
Tier,
Yes.
yeah, tier 0.
I don't understand how that would support my application, or how can I like my application for permanent investment?
Okay. So, so the question was considering the different industries that have like that differentiation in between tiers 0 to 4, if I'm not wrong. How can the person how can she boost her application? What was it?
Yeah, how can I like boost my current, like, do you have to have a degree, or both?
Okay, how can she
How can I
boost
like make a better application?
Yeah, how can she make a better application for the PR? I guess related to the tiers and stuff, right?
Okay, that's a very open question because every single stream, as we called, or pathway for the immigration, right, they have different requirements. For example, if you're talking about a federal program, you won't make more points because you are working a tier 1 or 0 than if you work in a tier 3. It's pretty much the same. If you work for Manitoba, for example, which is most of you are interested, of course, for the skilled worker, yes, this is a big deal. You can increase and get more points because you're at a higher tier. But most important is not only the tier, but the demand of the position that you are working. That's even more important. Okay, so there's a list of professions in high demand in Manitoba, and this is the most important, is to be working in these positions, and not only working, but you have to prove that your work is legit. So, for example, if I say, yeah, I'm assistant manager, or I'm a manager, right? So it's a tier 0 probably, but your salary is minimum or bare close to minimum, right? Doesn't match, and the officer will know that. So we have to prove that you are working that position, not only saying that, but as long as you work in a position of high demand, the chances are higher. Now, to everyone that's watching me now, more important than the type of work you do nowadays for immigration is language. So unfortunately, get ready, especially if you don't speak French. If you speak French, great, you are probably already with a PR. If you speak a good, I'm not exaggerating here, okay? So if you speak French right now, you probably have already the PR and you don't know. If you don't, you better start to learn, a better English and a better French, or, because this will bring you a lot of points anywhere you go, either to the province, especially to the federal government, which is allowing a lot of French speakers to stay in Canada. And this was November 4th. There was an announcement saying that they will allow 16% of the whole immigration system for French speakers. So they want to have more people outside Quebec that speaks French, right? So of course, your study will be important. You have to have a good job. You have to have a job. Your salary matters, but language, it's very important right now. Okay, so talk to Carmen there, get another course, because people that have a second idiom, official idiom in Canada, which language is French. For example, just to give an idea, okay, I'm running out of time. My PGWP is running out of time. You will expire soon. If you have French 5, only 5, and only speaking and listening, you don't have to write, you don't have to read. You probably can get a work permit without LMIA. So you just have to have a job and extend your work in Canada, your time work in Canada, just because you have French level 5, speaking and listening only. Don't have to write, don't have to read. This is one of the advantages of speaking French. So my advice, take a good French class, and getting English, of course. In English, you have to have the maximum 1. You probably will be able to get the PR to the federal program easily.
We have some French courses online that you can take it. We have a promotion, and then maybe that can help. Like, yeah, it's good to have it in French.
Yeah. Okay. Is there any other questions? Or I think. Okay. Anyways, you have the QRs there. So if you have like maybe more specific questions, you can always leave them there. You can register, and I know they're gonna get back to you. And yeah, just like a very short question: what other resources can Overseas Frontiers support students with? You said French classes.
Well, many other courses. We have it now. We're offering since last year programs in another destinations, not just in Canada. We also doing Europe, Spain, especially Spain, because Latino loves to go to Spain. We have many other destinations in France, for example, or Malta, Italy, UK. Also in USA as well. And those courses are micro-credentials. You will get a certification from the school, from the university or the school, that it's not only it's not that long because it's micro-credential. You can do by your pace time, and also it's online, or maybe you can do as part of a big program. Like in the end, if you do some 3 or 4 micro-credentials, in the end you will get a certification, for example. That's the way that I'm building those short-term courses for everybody, and in many countries, not just in Canada, because it can be online as well. Okay. Anything that you needed in terms of courses, you can call me and just asking me for advices, and then I can show you what options we have.
Yeah, amazing.
Okay.
And
consultation is free.
Yeah. Perfect. And thank you so much, Armando. I guess your insights were very good. And thank you for that. I guess like if anyone else wants to talk to Armando later, you can scan the QR, I guess. Right? And this
yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
You can talk to Carmen at any time if you want to talk to us. Actually, we do all type of service for immigration. The only type we don't do is refugees, but since they study to citizenship, humanitarian compassion, hopefully no one needs that, but detention, deportations, anything related to the law of immigration, we are able to help. And you can contact Carmen if you have any questions. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Armando. Yeah.
You're welcome. Thank you, guys.
Maybe one last question.
Last question.
It was already asked.
Yeah, it's here. He's here.
I don't know if it was already asked, but you're done with university. In the meantime, you're applying to for the PGO training work.
If you're applying to university in the
If you're done.
If you're done with university in the meantime while you're applying for the postgraduate work permit, can you work? I think.
Sorry, can you repeat the question? I didn't get it.
If you can work and while you are applying for your post-graduation work permit after your graduation?
Yes, absolutely. Once you applied, if you apply before the expiration day, you're going to be in implied status. So implied status, you can continue to work, but now full-time, okay? Once you apply, submit the application, you can just switch to full-time, and then you can keep going until you receive the answer, which probably is positive, and work until the end of the time of your PGWP. Okay.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Armando. Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
So
You guys have a good night.
Thank you, Armando.
And the winner is Andrea. Andrea's here? Wait. Oh yeah. Andrea, come here. Yay. Congratulations.